This right here is the new for 2022 Maruti XL6. Now, I wouldn't call it an entirely new car because it's not. It pretty much looks the same as before, the interior is also more or less the same, and it's not like you're getting a new diesel or electric powertrain to choose from. But then again, you're getting more for your money because there's a longer feature list, and more importantly, there's an entirely new 6-speed automatic gearbox to go with the new 1.5-litre petrol engine, which is claimed to be even more fuel efficient than before. So if you ask me, it's a little tricky to describe the new XL6, but it's here nonetheless. And if you're in the market for a petrol MPV and have made up your mind on getting the Kia Carens, you might want to give the XL6 another chance.
But before we move on with the review, please consider subscribing to our channel and click on the bell icon to stay notified if you're already a subscriber. On the outside, not much has changed on the 2022 XL6 except for some minor design updates to the front and rear. The most noticeable change comes in the form of the new dual-tone 16-inch alloy wheels, which look sharper than the 15-inch wheels on the old XL6. The thick chrome bar up front on the grille is also new, and so is the gloss black finish for the B and C pillars. At the back, the taillights are the same as before, but they look much cooler now because of the smoke grey lens. The whole car for that matter looks quite cool since it's a lot less slab-sided compared to something like the Carens. The XL6 in my opinion strikes a nice balance between a purposeful MPV and a stylish crossover with its high riding stance, sharp creases along the sides and chunky plastic cladding all over.
Now, there are no visual changes to this cabin, although that's not a negative for me because I, for one, am a fan of how pleasing this interior is to look at and how all the controls fall so easily to hand. Sure, some of the plastics, they aren't as nice as the ones you get in the Carens, and because this is an all-black cabin, you don't get the same level of airiness or that sense of lots of space, but hey, that's just me. And some of you might really like this all black treatment and how sporty it looks. So that's all from the driver's seat. Now let's step into the back seat and see how they are. The 6 in XL6 stands for 6-seater, which means you get these lovely captain seats, and let me tell you already, they are very comfortable, and as you can see, there's more than enough leg room for my height, and I also have lots of under thigh support, which is always great. What I also like is the overall sense of space that you get despite the all-black cabin, but that's simply because of the sheer volume of this cabin and how huge these side windows are. So all in all, it's safe to assume that anybody seated here would be very comfortable indeed. Getting into the third row of the XL6 is not as difficult as it may seem. I mean, it's a simple one-touch and slide affair, and the XL6 continues to impress once you're seated in here. I mean, I can freely move my legs, and the shoulder room is good enough for 2 adults, and to be honest, I'm not feeling as claustrophobic as I would sitting in the third row of your typical 6-7 seater SUVs, so that's great.
The Carens effect can definitely be seen when you look at the equipment list. There is now a whole new list of features that I believe are extremely usable and not just gimmicky stuff. Things like ventilated front seats, reach adjustment for the steering wheel, footwell lighting, and tire pressure monitoring system are all handy features for everyday drives. The XL6 also gets Maruti's 360-degree view system from the new Baleno, which, other than the static overhead image, also displays an immersive view of the surroundings in 3D. The infotainment system in this car is also from the Baleno, and as a result, it's far more immersive and feature-packed than what the old XL6 had. Our first impressions are rather good. I mean, the user interface is simple and, unlike Maruti's other infotainment units, also easy on the eye. The touch response is also good, if not the best in class, and there's an Indianized version of Suzuki's voice command system to control certain features of the car. In terms of safety, the XL6 comes with 4 airbags, the usual 2 at the front and 1 each on the front seat side. There's also ABS, ESP and hill hold function as standard. moving on to the biggest highlight of the 2022 XL6, and it's the tweaked K15C petrol engine. This is basically the same 1.5 litre 4-cylinder engine from before, but with 2 injectors per cylinder, dual variable valve timing, and a higher compression ratio. All of these changes have been made so that this engine can breathe better and be more efficient at normal operating RPMs. At 20.27 km to a litre, the claimed mileage for the XL6 with the new 6-speed automatic is higher than its predecessor with the old 4-speed unit. What's the drivetrain like in the real world though?
Dynamically, there are a few things where the XL6 really excels at. Take the steering for instance. It's light, in fact it's adequately light and direct, and as you put in more lock, it only gets more feelsome. The best part about this 2022 update is that Maruti has worked on the returnability of it, so it self-centers more easily now, and that was an issue with the old car where you had to muscle it to bring it back in line, but not so much with this new one. Then there's the ride quality, which is very comfortable for the most part. The ride itself, it's very supple, and you don't feel most of the sharp-edged bumps and potholes unless they are really big, and even at slow speeds there is none of the stiffness that you get in some of the competition cars. So in a family car that's supposed to carry a lot of people all the time, that's a great thing.
Maruti, it seems, has aimed for maximum efficiency with this new K15C engine, and it clearly shows with the way it performs. It doesn't pull as hard as the old 1.5 litre motor, and because there is no turbo power, there is hardly any surge in acceleration as the revs rise. In fact, progress at mid to high RPM is quite relaxed, and you'll most likely end up revving this engine more than you ideally would to make quick progress. Having said that, for daily driving at reasonable speeds, this engine offers adequate power and remains refined throughout. Naturally, it's the everyday city speeds that brings out the best of this new 6-speed automatic gearbox, which Maruti says has been outsourced for the XL6. It allows for a smooth getaway and delivers almost seamless upshifts at path throttle or below.
So this new 6-speed automatic gearbox, that's the real highlight of this car that we are driving. It's a lovely unit for daily driving. I mean, the gear shifts are smooth, you don't feel any of the jerks while it's going through the gears at low speeds. I mean, that's the beauty of a torque converter, right? It goes about its business very smoothly, and that's the case with this gearbox. The only gripe I have with this gearbox is that the downshifts, they aren't as crisp as I would have liked.
Like every new car that we have seen getting launched in recent times, prices for the new XL6 automatic have gone up significantly compared to the old model. In fact, ex-showroom prices for this new XL6 automatic start at Rs 12.79 lakhs and go all the way till Rs 14.39 lakhs for the Alpha Plus model that you see here. Now, if we are to compare, the entry-level Carens petrol automatic is exactly Rs 2 lakhs more expensive, and the top spec version that comes in at Rs 17.49 lakhs is over 3 lakhs dearer.
But you know what, let's not bring the Carens into the picture for now, because this new 6-speed automatic gearbox, along with the updated engine and all the small improvements to the features list, have amounted to something that's way better than the original. I mean, the XL6 has always been a solid choice as a manual, but that old 4-speed automatic just didn't make any sense in a world where you also have quick shifting DCTs and extremely smooth torque converter automatics.
Ultimately, the new XL6 automatic doesn't bring about any revolutionary changes with it, but there is no denying that it's a breakthrough product for Maruti, one that has been updated in nearly all key areas. It may not be as refined inside out as the Carens, but then it's also significantly cheaper, and for the kind of money it's sold at, it represents good value for anyone looking to get a petrol automatic MPV with some character. That's it from us for this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like what you see, and let us know in the comments if you would like us to compare the XL6 against the Carens automatic.